Coming up on News Live at 6, region-wide power outages overnight cut off power to two of the city's water pumps, affecting multiple dorms here on campus. How students are reacting.
Plus, President Trump is going after moves Biden made in his final days of presidency. What he says is invalid.
I'm here at McGavin's Pub in Tipperary Hill, and our St. Patrick's Day celebration is astir. They've been bustling since Saturday when there was the St. Patrick's Day parade. What?
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Hello and welcome to News Live at 6, this St. Patrick's Day Monday. I'm Max Williams.
And I'm Maria Achkar. We hope everyone enjoyed spring break, and we'd like to welcome you to our newly renovated studio.
I know, it's so nice. Like, I came in here, I was like so shocked by all like the lights and everything. It was awesome.
We are so excited, and even though Max and I are graduating in just, 7-8 weeks, we are just so excited to have the studio when we can.
Yes.
Well, anyways.
Yes. Well, hey, talking about spring break, what did you do for spring break?
I was in New Orleans.
Okay,
it was really fun.
Nice,
How about you?
Nice. I went to Punta Cana, got a little burnt, so face is peeling a little bit, but
Max got tan.
Yes. All right. Well, severe storms welcomed students back to campus last night, causing multiple power outages across the area. Here on campus, some dorms experienced a water shortage that was due to the power outages, cutting power to two of the city's water pumps.
Our reporter Roman Verna tells us how students and Central New York were affected.
As students returned from spring break, everything seemed just as it was when they left. But for residents of certain dorm halls, they were hit with a surprise when their showers wouldn't work, sinks had low pressure, and toilets wouldn't flush. Arlo Kemmerer Scovener is a resident at Syracuse's Shaw Hall. He says the issue affected his entire floor.
I just went to use the bathroom, and I checked all the bathrooms, and the one was clogged a little bit, so I tried to flush it, and then I went around and none of them flushed properly. And then, I texted my friends, and they're like, oh, the showers aren't working either. So, I know I live in Shaw, so I know pretty much the entirety of Shaw was affected. I got the email.
That email from Pete Saul, the chief facilities officer for the university, said that outages were reported at Flint, Day, Booth, Lawrenson, and Orange halls. Now, of course, reports from students were also received from Shaw Hall right behind me, and even as far as South Campus. In the email, Sala added that the water issues were due to a water main burst in the north side, nearly 3 miles from campus. The city of Syracuse says that they were able to mitigate the outage by drawing more water from lakes, restarting pumps shut down by power outages, and increasing supply from reservoirs. Now, the city added that they're closely monitoring their water stockpile as there have been multiple water main bursts already this year. The Departments of Public Works and Transportation are holding a committee meeting on Wednesday to discuss the water further. Reporting in Syracuse, Roman Verna, CitrusTV News.
Roman, important stuff tonight, and the university is encouraging you to call the on-campus housing if you're still experiencing water shortages. All right, moving on. Goon Squad registration for next year is now open. Goon Squad members have been welcoming new students and helping them move into their dorms since 1944. Students who want to join will be able to get an earlier move-in date if they're living in university housing, and you'll get free Goon Squad merch. Sounds pretty nice. Registration will be open until the last week of June.
And Syracuse University Libraries is accepting application for this semester's Orange Innovation Fund. Grants up to $5,000 per award will be given to graduate and undergraduate students to support their research initiatives. Applications close next Friday, and award letters will be made in mid-April.
Well, if you're looking for some motivation to get into shape, which is something I really need to do, by the end of the semester, you're in luck. The Spring Into Fitness Challenge starts today and runs through mid-April. To complete the challenge, participants need to attend 3 different types of group fitness classes. These include strength, yoga, and dynamic classes like Zumba. All participants will earn a t-shirt, and those who will compete the challenge will be entered to win a fitness prize pack.
And take a look at your screen. That is the brand new Football Performance Center that was unveiled for the first time last night. The new space, which is at the John A. Lally Athletics Complex, includes locker rooms, an athletic training room, player lounges, and more. But this is just a first look. The official opening is later in April.
Oh, that looks nice, Marie.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Yes, well, as you can see behind us, we're taking a live look at your traffic right now. Local time is 6:04. You're looking at I-81 southbound and northbound. We do have a traffic update for you. I-81 southbound is down to 1 lane, between exit 20 and exits 23A, 23B, and 22. They're closed from 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. until this Friday for construction.
Well, you know, Max, it does look pretty nice outside. I don't say so myself. I mean, we did have some warm weather earlier in the week. Now we kind of got that cold front coming in today. I don't know about you, but it's March. I'm getting really sick of these cold temperatures right now.
I know, and as I mentioned before, I just came back from Punta Cana. You know, it was
this
so
is
warm
a
and
big disappointment for you.
Yeah, but it was.
Well, you know what? I want to know if these spring temperatures will be sticking in here soon. I don't know. Well, our weather anchor, Riley Fay, is here in studio to tell us more. Riley, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Max and Marie. The short answer is no. The cold temperatures aren't sticking around for too much longer, but definitely cannot compete with Punta Cana, Max, unfortunately. But taking a look at right now, it's currently 36 degrees outside. No rain or wind or snow throughout the day. It is pretty windy outside, so there's a feels like temperature of 29. Looking at tonight, it's going to dip down to 32 degrees with a feels like temperature of 26. Now, luckily, there's still no precipitation expected throughout the night or even into tomorrow, so you can expect normal times on your commute to work or class. The theme of this week, though, is definitely layers, though. Later in the show, I'll talk about how it's warming up, but for now, back to you guys.
Riley, thank you so much. Well, New York City health officials say that 2 cats have been infected with bird flu. The cats are from 2 separate households, and health officials are still investigating how they contracted the virus in the first place. While bird flu can spread quickly between animals, officials say the current risk to New Yorkers of getting sick is low. Since the current bird flu outbreak in 2022, 1 person has died and 70 others have been infected.
With warmer temperatures coming, New York is issuing its annual statewide ban on burning residential brush. The spring season means an increased risk of wildfires due to lower humidity and higher winds. The State Department of Environmental Conservation says the largest cause of spring wildfires in New York is the open burning of debris. The ban is in effect until mid-May. Well, flags will continue to be at half-mast through sunset today as New York is honoring former Congresswoman Nitu Lowy, who died Saturday. Lowy served for 32 years in the House of Representatives. In an interview shortly before her retirement in 2021, Lowy spoke about her impact on getting women more involved in the government. Here she is.
All these people who elected me made it possible for me to become the first woman to chair the House Appropriations Committee. And I do hope that historic achievement, when they look at my portrait on the appropriation wall, will inspire other women and girls to get involved in the community.
Lowy is survived by her 64-year-old husband and 3 children. Her family said a private funeral and memorial service will be held at a later date.
Well, while March Madness is getting into full swing, Governor Hochul is declaring the month as a Problem Gambling Awareness Month. The American Gambling Association says about $3 billion are expected to be spent on this year's NCAA basketball tournaments. Hochul says the goal is to bring attention to problem gambling and to, quote, make sure no one fights this undetected addiction alone.
Well, as we all know, today is St. Patrick's Day, and here in Syracuse, it's actually a pretty big deal.
Well, it certainly is, and just outside the city is Tip Hill. It's a whole neighborhood dedicated to the Irish community, and that is where we find our Izzy Leibowitz outside of McCaben's Pub to see how locals are celebrating. Izzy, good evening.
Okay, here at the McGavin Pub in Tipperary Hill, there's a lot of festivities for St. Patrick's Day, starting with the parade on Saturday where there was thousands showing up because of the good weather. They come over here to the pub to celebrate on Monday. There's green throughout, and now let's hear from some of them.
This has been around for 40 plus years now, so we've just gotten used to like the staffing.
Let me talk. Let's see. So that's what we have here for McCavern's Pub. have a good St. Patrick's Day. Now, back. This is Izzy Leibowitz with Citrus News. Back to you.
Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Coming up, President Trump is claiming some pardons made by his predecessor are invalid. Who's affected? Next.
And controversy arises after hundreds of immigrants got deported to El Salvador. The Trump administration defending the decision despite a judge's order. That and more after the break.
To an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
Watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Max Williams, Marie Achkar, and Riley Fay. And now, your campus news leader continues. You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6.
But the J6 Unselect Committee, they gave, think of it, they gave pardons with an auto pen. I don't think Biden knew anything about it.
Old Donald Trump there on Air Force One today claiming pardons for members of the House January 6th committee are no longer valid. Trump says that since former President Joe Biden used an auto pen, which is a machine designed to automatically replicate a handwritten signature, the pardons are not valid, although auto pens have been used to sign legislation since 2011.
Biden issued a number of preemptive pardons in the final days of his term, including ones for the January 6th committee. Experts say it's unlikely a court would allow a president to revoke a predecessor's pardons.
Well, sticking with the Trump administration, they are transferring hundreds of immigrants to El Salvador. Despite a federal judge issuing an order to temporarily stop the deportations, it comes after President Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act for the first time since World War II, granting himself the power to deport people associated with the Venezuelan gang.
The order was issued on Saturday when there were already 2 planes with immigrants in the air. The judge ordered the planes to be turned around, but they didn't. The incident has sparked controversy on whether the Trump administration violated court orders.
South Africa's ambassador to the United States may be forced out of the country by the end of the week. The State Department says Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool is no longer welcome in the U.S.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the decision on X. In his post, he called Rasool a, quote, race-baiting politician who hates America, end quote.
Well, listen up. More than 75,000 bottles of International Delight coffee creamer are being recalled after reports of the product spoiling prematurely. The recall affects the brand's hazelnut and Cinnabon Classic cinnamon roll flavors.
31 states are mentioned in the recall, including New York. The products have a best buy date on July 3rd. Customers are advised to stop using the recalled creamers immediately and can return them for a refund or replacement. No other International Delight products are affected by the current recall.
And coming up, I have some good news for once, so don't go anywhere.
That was solid.
Did you
That was
hear
a good
about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back. Like I said, we have some good news. I feel like this is the first time we've seen more than even one sun icon on a 5-day weather forecast for Mondays. But looking at tomorrow, it's going to be pretty much sunny all day. A few clouds throughout with a high of 61, low of 43. Then Wednesday, warmer, 74 degrees for March in Syracuse. That's crazy, but it will be partly cloudy throughout the day. And the mornings are going to be a little bit chilly, so I would definitely layer up on your way to class or work. Thursday, the first official day of spring, March 20th, it's going to rain all day, but it will still be 63 degrees, which I'll take 1 day of rain out of 5. Then Friday and Saturday, it's going to be a pretty nice weekend. Same thing, partly cloudy. We're going to see the sun mostly in the afternoon. It's going to start out pretty cloudy in the morning with a high of 45 for Friday and 56 for Saturday. But let's take a look around the region right now. It's pretty consistent throughout at about 36 degrees all over. Rochester, Syracuse. Cortland's a little bit colder at 33. But Fulton actually has another flood watch, and then Rome, New York, has a flood warning, and that's just due to the higher temperatures with the increased snow that they got over the past few months. It's just all melting. So if you're traveling in the area, just be careful about the flooding in the area. Guys, back to you.
Riley, thank you so much for that weather report. Well, the Paylitz Art Scholarship Fund was established in 2011 by museum advocates Luis and Bernard Paylitz, my bad, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. And the fund supports students in museum studies and/or art history graduate programs here at SU. Our reporter Caleb Plank has more on this year's awardee.
The 2024-2025 Paylitz Art Scholar is second-year graduate student Coral Silver, who is completing their master's degree in art history. Coral stood out as a candidate with a new and original research project, exploring pieces previously unexamined.
We really thought Coral had a clear research idea for Coral's thesis project for their art history degree that was compelling and new, and we thought that really would contribute to the field of art history.
Coral's interest in sculptures has fueled the work of this research project.
I think there's something really special about being able to walk completely around an artwork. Paintings are often 2D, so yeah, it adds a lifelike dimension. They're really interesting examples of copies of classical artworks, so I've been working on trying to figure out where they came from, how they were displayed on campus. The artist's career, Ferdinando Vici, he's a little tricky to find online, so I've been looking for photographs of other works and seeing what I can find about these particular sculptures.
Coral's passion for art has been reflected in the work they're now doing for the Paylitz Art Scholarship. What do you think about Coral?
Coral's been both in the archives here at the university, poking around online, and finding bits and pieces about Ferdinando Vici, the artist here, that we didn't know about before.
Coral will continue this research throughout the semester as part of their larger capstone project. For Citrus TV News, I'm Caleb Plank.
Caleb, thanks so much. You know what's also an art when it comes to NFL scouting? And the NFL draft is just over a month away, which means that a multitude of Syracuse athletes can still prove themselves. Plus, SU women's lacrosse hit the road this weekend, while Cuse men's lax returns to action tomorrow. All that and more coming up, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Well, if you're trying to get around campus, there might be a bit of traffic over at Ensley because it's pro day for Syracuse football. Welcome to sports. I'm Skyler Wilkes. With senior showcases and the combine in the rearview mirror, this is the final opportunity for members of the Orange to publicly display their talent for NFL teams. And after SU went 10-3 and won a bowl game, shouldn't be too surprising that almost the entire league is in attendance. And as you can see there on the graphic, over 30 organizations were reported to be present to see 14 players participate. The group is obviously headlined by quarterback Kyle McCord, who set the ACC record for most passing yards this season. And while his name isn't on the screen right now, you can't forget about wide receiver Jackson Meeks. The senior led the Cuse in receiving yards and had the second most catches in the conference. Overall, there could be at least 4 Orange players who get drafted next month. And over in the Steel City, 8th-ranked Syracuse women's lacrosse battled Pittsburgh on Saturday. After its last 2 games went into overtime, I'm sure SU hoped to finish things in regulation. There was a pretty good chance that happened too, given that the Cuse had won the first 3 meetings by an average of 11 points. Anyways, let's check out what went down at Highmark Stadium. Syracuse dealing with some injuries and not having the same season that they are accustomed to. Olivia Adamson out for the year, but a new freshman who's really impressed is Caroline Trinkus. Finished with 2 goals and a team-high 4 points. That evened the score up at 1, and then a weather delay in Pittsburgh up to almost an hour. Slowed things down a little bit, but it didn't slow down Jolie Caramelli. Her first career hat trick. Pittsburgh, though, staying in this ballgame. Sydney Naylor with a free position goal. Pittsburgh trailing by just 4 in the third quarter. Ended up outscoring Syracuse 4-1 in the third quarter. It was 11-8 by the end of the frame. And the Panthers, though, they kept on fighting, staying alive in this game. That was Gracie Britton with the goal, Andy Parker with a goal for SU, less than a minute left, and it was Syracuse who hung on to win 17-11 to win its second straight game, getting back to 500. But it was a real team effort for the Orange, who had 10 different goal scorers. Kayla Trainer's squad also had 6 players find the back of the net more than once. Syracuse's offense wasn't the only thing that shined. Its defense forced 12 turnovers, which was the 4th time this year that it recorded 10+. SU is now back above 500, like I mentioned, and picked up a much-needed win ahead of its meeting with 17th-ranked Loyola on Wednesday. Back in the 3-1-5, though, number 10 Syracuse men's lacrosse welcomes Manhattan to town tomorrow. Despite an 8-day break, the Orange aim to build off their 3-point win over old rival Johns Hopkins. In this situation, the Jaspers aren't as tough of an opponent. No disrespect there. Manhattan comes in on a 2-game win streak, but is just 4-3 on the season. That should be encouraging for Joey Spallina, who had a career-high 10 points in the inaugural matchup last season. Now the attackman is 7 points away from 200 in his career. Meanwhile, Owen Hiltz is just 3 off. Whoever reaches it first would become the 18th player in program history to reach that milestone. So SU having a little bit better of a year so far than the women's side.
Okay, looking good.
Well, Skyler, thank you so much. I want to take the focus and put it on basketball. March Madness starts tomorrow, and even though Syracuse is not in the bracket, who's the favorite to win this year?
I've really torn it. It's so competitive this year. The SEC with 14 teams. Auburn is the #1 seed, but losing 3 last 4, I don't really trust it. I think if Cooper Flagg is healthy, Duke, as painful as it is to say, if you're a Syracuse fan, might be the favorite this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll see.
I'll have to start making my bracket. All right. Well, when we come back, we'll have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Now, I did mention it's going to get up to almost 60 degrees tomorrow, but not without a fight. The morning starting off at about 29 degrees. Clear skies, though, overall. It is going to be a little bit humid. And let's take a look at how it's going to reach 60 degrees. So from 9 a.m., about the time we were just talking about, it's going to be 33 degrees. And then by 2 p.m., it'll be 60 degrees. So if you're on campus all day long, you're definitely going to want a variety of layers, short sleeves with maybe a sweatshirt and a jacket, because then at 8 p.m., it's going to go back down to 53 degrees. Now, like I said earlier, it'll just be partly cloudy throughout the day. No precipitation.
Like in those 60s.
Yeah, I like that too.
Getting warm. All right. Well, hey, an American influencer is apologizing for taking a baby wombat away from its mother while in Australia.
Sam Jones posted a video on her Instagram account of her running with a wombat Joey in her hands. It's not funny. It's just,
not, yes.
You know, that's you don't see it every day.
You never thought you'd be saying those words.
Exactly. I think it's just like the surrealness of it. Like, I just wouldn't think that somebody would do that. But
that's weird. I don't know. We were looking at the video before the show started, and I don't know, like, did she want to keep it as a pet? Like, I wasn't really sure what her reasoning was behind it.
The wombat was super cute, though. What is your guys' favorite animal?
I don't think I don't know if I've seen a wombat in person before. I'd have to say cheetah probably is my favorite animal.
A cheetah, how about you?
I would say kangaroo.
Okay, Riley?
I like coyotes. They're like these little Mexico raccoons. Yeah, they
Wait,
look
really?
like they're in the raccoon family.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I saw them on spring break when I went to Cancun. I know you guys went some other.
Yes.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Monday.
And don't forget, you can follow us on all of our socials. For the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Maria Achkar.
And I'm Max Williams. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.